Hi Cancer, it's Rebecca from Being Human Tarot here with your February 2019 reading. I know I've been away for a second, so thanks for being patient while I got my act together so that I could make more videos. This month I'm going to be reading with the Fountain Tarot deck, and I'll put a link in the description for that in case you're interested, like the illustrations. For 2019, I do want to switch up my format for these videos, but I didn't have my act fully together enough to do that for the February videos, so just keep a lookout for March. I'm going to switch it up. And in the meantime, I'm going to stick with the same 3-card spread that I did in past months, which, as a reminder, the first card indicates what to focus on for the month. The second card indicates what to set aside for the month, and the third card indicates an additional consideration for the month. So, I've already shuffled and pulled your cards, and for your first card of the month for February, you drew the Hanged Man. And actually, also, if you can hear like a weird, almost boiling sounding, sizzling screech, it's my radiator, and there's no way I can get it to not make that noise, and I'd like to be heated because I'm shooting this in January, it's very cold, so bear with me. Hopefully the auto adjust in the sound will make my voice sound much louder than that noise. But to get back to your reading, the Hanged Man is an interesting card in general if you draw it this year for any of the months as a focus, because 2019 is a Hanged Man year, and what that means is that each year has at least one tarot card association with it, which you get by adding up the numerals of the year, so 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 9, and then it is which equals 12, which is, the Hanged Man is the 12th card in tarot. And you can actually take it a step further for if cards are double digits, because then you can add up those numbers once more, and so then 12, it's 2 plus 1, and you get 3, which means, which is the third card in tarot is Empress, and so it ends up being a Hanged Man and Empress year for 2019. Cat. So as your focus for February, that means that this message is even stronger for you than it is for sort of everyone generally for the entire year. And Hanged Man is about remaining still. It's about also changing perspectives to get clarity, because as you can see, this man had to be sort of strung up and forced into an uncomfortable position before he was able to see things differently. So for example, in this particular card, the sun is setting, but from his perspective, it might look like the sun is rising, which is almost a bit like a death, rebirth cycle. So what that means for you this month is that you want to keep a watchful eye out for the things in your life that, if you felt stuck somewhere in particular, what is it about that situation? What might you be able to do differently that could potentially offer you some different perspective on it? Because if you keep going and going and trying the same thing and it's not working, I mean, A, that's the definition of insanity, but B, it's time to try something that might be more productive. And it is also, well, the example I just gave was an active example of a way to, test out Hanged Man energy for yourself. It's also a very still, kind of observant energy. So if it's not immediately clear to you what you might need to be embodying the Hanged Man more in your life, that's okay. Just kind of take that approach overall to February. Maybe instead of being the first to give your opinion about something, maybe listen to other people's opinions and kind of remain quiet and see how you feel about things. Little adjustments like that in your everyday life would be good for February. As your set aside, you drew Death. Also, what the cards are really trying to tell you is now is the time for observation, and it's not the time for transformational change. It's not the time yet, because you're still processing some things. You're still figuring out how you would even approach this kind of change in your life. But with it in the set aside is not ignore forever or completely disregard. It's set aside for this time. And so with the Death card coming up in your set aside, what that shows is this is around the bend. So you can also kind of, you can set it aside and know that this change won't be happening now. And if you felt the need to make a huge change right now, perhaps it's not the best time. And it could be. But just pause and kind of like give it that little consideration before making a huge change, before ending something in particular. But you can still prepare for it. And really what the Hanged Man seems to be doing for you this month is preparing you for it, giving you that perspective so you understand the best way to move forward for this when the time comes. And don't fear it. It's not, I know this picture in this particular card is a bit scary, and in a lot of death cards is scary, but without death, we can't have rebirth, right? And in your additional consideration card, you drew the Eight of Wands. Which is about things moving swiftly. But in this case, while you're in the Hanged Man, things don't move swiftly. It's, as I said, like a time of stillness and reflection and meditation. And so if you're feeling like the itch for things to be happening faster than they are, like recognize that, give yourself credit for being a human being and wanting things, like that's what we want as people, right? We want things to move along. We want to get to the next thing. But it's not always, we don't always have that luxury of things moving quickly. Sometimes change is slow. Sometimes it's arduous. Not necessarily going to be the case that it's arduous this month for you, but it does seem that it's going to be slower than you would like. So just keep in mind additional consideration. Slow and steady can win the race. Swift change isn't always the best way. So that's it for your reading, Cancer. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. I upload the suite of videos for all the signs before the 1st of every month. And if you subscribe and then hit the bell icon, you will be automatically notified as soon as I upload those. Just makes it a little bit easier. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next month, Cancer. Bye.